Hi, Wildcats. My name is Dr. Macalino, and I'm your instructional specialist. This is a tutorial on how to read Oak Grove Spring 2021 Bell schedule for hybrid learners and 100% distance learners. This schedule will be active starting on March 29, and it will go all the way until the last day of school, which is June 2nd, 2021. So this is our current Bell schedule that we have been following and implementing for the past year. Actually, I believe since March 23rd, 2020. However, this schedule will end or expire this Friday, March 26, 2021. Okay, so before we look at the actual spring 2021 Oak Grove Bell schedule, there's some key terms that will help you understand the Bell schedule. So we'll look at what it means to be a 100% distance learner, hybrid learner, asynchronous learning, prepare for learning, student transition, virtual classroom, and daily live interaction. Okay, so what does it mean to be a 100% distance learner? Pretty much that's what you've been doing for the past year. You have been a 100% distance learner. All of your instruction and learning is taking place in a virtual setting, which is either we've been using Zoom or Google Meets. However, starting on March 29, we're going to have another type of learners, which is called the hybrid learner. And that means that these students will be experiencing virtual learning and in-person learning. So it's a combination of the two. Okay. Asynchronous learning time. So think of asynchronous learning time as mandatory independent student practice. We haven't been using the term asynchronous in the past year, but we are going to start using it now. Asynchronous learning time. That means mandatory independent student practice. So that's a set time during the schedule where you are expected to study and complete assignments on your own. And these are things that you could be doing during the asynchronous learning time. You are going to either start or finish assignments, such as classwork or homework. You can make up or redo assignments, review your class notes, read a book, attend teacher office hours. And for 8th graders, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to work on your 8th grade project. What does it mean to prepare for learning? You will notice in your new schedule from 8 to 8:30, it recommends that that is the time that you should be preparing for learning. That's a wonderful time for you to set your alarm clock on your cell phone to wake up, brush your teeth, wash your face, do what you usually do to get ready. We highly recommend that you eat breakfast because it's very hard to concentrate in class, whether it's a virtual class or in-person class. If you are hungry, charge your computer if you didn't do it overnight, gather any student or class materials for today's class periods, log on to your Google Classroom, check out what's going on in your teacher stream or classwork posts. Or maybe you didn't finish assignments from the day before. So during that time, you could use that time to study or finish classwork or homework. On the new schedule, you will also be seeing a term, student transition. So if you're a hybrid learner, if your parent chose for you to be a hybrid learner, that means that that is the time for you to commute to Oak Grove, whether it's by car, bus, walk. I believe some of you guys bike to school as well, but that's what it means for student transition. It's the time for you to transition from your living room couch or wherever you study to Oak Grove. And then for our 100% virtual learners or distance learners, that means that student transition, you're either continuing your independent practice or your asynchronous practice or asynchronous learning, or you're simply taking a mental health break. I believe we already know what this definition is, a virtual classroom. As I said, we've been doing this for the past year. So this is your online classroom setting, and we've been using Google Meets and Zoom. And then finally, we have daily live interaction. So at Oak Grove, daily live interaction is every Wednesday through your first period class from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And during this period, Wildcats have been learning about multicultural holidays and celebrations. However, for the past month and a half, I want to say since the start of February 2021, 8th graders have specifically been focusing on working and completing on their service learning project. And we will continue to do that until the end of the school year. Okay, so here is our new bell schedule. Here's Oak Grove's new bell schedule. So as you can see here, it's our bell schedule that starts on March 29 and it goes until June 2nd. And so I know there's a lot going on here, but I want you to think of it this way. You are very familiar with the majority of this bell schedule because, as a matter of fact, if you look from, let's say, the rows from 8 to 8:30 to 12:25 to 12:55, from that point, from that particular section, that's been our bell schedule. That has been our bell schedule, where Monday, Thursdays, you go to periods 1 through 4. Tuesday, Fridays, you go to periods 5 to 7. Wednesdays, you only have one class and it's your first period class. Everywhere that you see asynchronous learning, you've been doing that already. I think in the old, I believe in the previous bell schedule, we've just been calling it independent student practice. So that's basically what it is. Asynchronous learning is independent student practice. Except the reason why it's slightly different is because your classes are going from 60 minutes to 45 minutes. Why is it going from 60 minutes to 45 minutes? Well, because we had to put time from 12:55 to 3 o'clock so we could accommodate the hybrid schedule. And we'll talk more about the hybrid schedule in these upcoming slides. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just break down the schedule specifically for the 100% distance learners. 100% distance learners. These are, once again, these are the students who are not going to report to campus, who are not going to report to campus. All of their learning takes place in a virtual classroom. Okay. Let me move my picture here. Okay. So we have 100% distance learners. However, we have two groups. We had to separate the students into two groups. And the groups are called Stable A and Stable B. So if you are a 100% distance learner, Stable A student, that means that on Monday and Tuesday, you are logging on to your assigned virtual classroom from 12:55 to 3 o'clock. And then on Thursday, Friday, from 12:55 to 3, you are doing asynchronous learning. Now, If you are a 100% distance learner stable B student, that means you're going to start off the week, Monday and Tuesday, from 12:55 to 3 as an asynchronous learner. And then on Thursday, Friday, from 12:55 to 3, you are signing on to your virtual classroom. Okay. Let me move myself once again. So if you're looking at this schedule and you're just focusing on a stable A student, a 100% distance learner stable A student, this is how your schedule will look like. See, everything's the same, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But then you'll notice here at the bottom, it specifically says here that stable A students from 12:55 to 3 o'clock, you are reporting or signing on to your virtual classroom. Then if you look over on Thursday, Friday, you are doing independent practice, which is asynchronous learning. Asynchronous learning. And then here we have an example of what a stable B student, a distance learner stable B student would look, how that would look like on the schedule. Okay, so just look at the bottom here and you'll notice that if you are a 100% distance learner stable B, you are starting off the afternoons on Monday and Tuesday as an asynchronous learner. And then you are ending your afternoons on Thursday, Friday, logging on to your virtual classroom. So students have been asking, how do I know if I'm a 100% distance learner group A or group B? Or in other words, stable A or stable B? Well, when you log on to your Aries portal, you will be able to see your schedule. And when you log on to your Aries portal, you're going to look at your schedule and you're going to check to see if it says one of these two labels. If you notice on your schedule, it says 0 period advisory homeroom. That means that you are a 100% distance learner stable A. However, if you go onto Aries portal and you notice that your schedule says 8th period advisory homeroom, that means that you are 100% distance learner stable B. So here is an example. As you can see here, this student's schedule has a 0 period that says advisory homeroom. Therefore, this student is a 100% distance learner stable A. However, look at this example. This student's schedule says 8th period advisory homeroom. Therefore, this student is a 100% distance learner stable B. Now, let's break it down. What does a schedule look like for a Wildcat hybrid learner? So once again, if you are a stable A, a hybrid learner stable A, that means that you are starting off the week in person at Oak Grove Middle School from 12:55 to 3. And then you're ending your afternoons on Thursday and Friday as an asynchronous learner from 12:55 to 3. And then hybrid learner stable B student, they are starting off their afternoons on Monday and Tuesday from 12:55 to 3 as an asynchronous learner. And then they are ending their afternoons on Thursday, Friday by reporting in person to Oak Grove Middle School. So here is an example of what the schedule would look like if you were just thinking about it as a hybrid learner stable A student. As you could see here, everything looks the same as all the other schedules, except if you look at the bottom, it says here that a hybrid learner stable A student ends the afternoons on Monday, Tuesday, reporting to school. And then stable A student, hybrid learner stable A student, ends their afternoons on Thursday and Friday as an asynchronous learner. And here is an example of the hybrid learner stable B. This is how a student would view the schedule if they were a hybrid learner stable B student. They would start off their afternoons on Monday and Tuesday as an asynchronous learner, followed by ending the week Thursday, Friday, reporting to Oak Grove. So once again, the question is, I know that I'm a hybrid learner. However, how do I know if I'm stable A or stable B? So when you log on to Aries portal, you will look at your schedule. And if you notice that your schedule says 0 period strategic support, that means that you are a hybrid learner stable A student. However, if you notice that your schedule says 8th period strategic support, that means that you are a hybrid learner stable B student. Okay, here's an example. You will notice here that this student has a 0 period strategic support. Therefore, this student is a hybrid learner stable A student. But then this student, you'll notice this student's schedule says 8th period strategic support. Therefore, this student is a hybrid learner stable B. Okay, Wildcats, I hope that this explanation or this video tutorial was helpful. You could also just view the PowerPoint slide deck on your own, which is also posted on our website. But Wildcats, once again, for those of you who continue to be virtual learners or 100% distance learners, we will see you online. For hybrid learners, we look forward to seeing you soon in person. Bye, Wildcats.